All right. And we are live. Yo, yo, yo. Tell me what you know. Welcome to the Sunshine Show. Woo! You guys, tonight we have a very special guest for you in the house this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever in the world you may roam. Because, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Sunshine Show is worldwide. All right, you guys, this episode has been brought to you tonight by Bass Players United. If you guys are not already signed up for Bass Players United, make sure to head over there today and do just that. All right, guys, we have the one and only, the most amazing, the most fabulous, the most phenomenal, the most Bowie of them all. Bassist, singer, songwriter, front woman for Band Inc. All right, guys, we got Giuliana Lucia Amaral in the house. What's up,
Hello.
Giuliana?
Hi, Sunshine. How you doing?
I am doing so great. It is wonderful to have you back on the show. Third time's a charm. I am so excited to get caught up with you.
Thank you. It's always wonderful to be on your show, Sunshine. Thank you.
Absolutely. For the very few people that may not know who you are, that are watching at home, listening on the podcast, can you please give us a brief introduction?
Absolutely. So, hello, everybody. My name is Giuliana. I'm a bass player and a singer. I play in my band called Band Inc. I'll spell that out real quick because sometimes people don't know it. It's a BANDINC. We're a rock trio and we play rock music. So, that's who I am.
Awesome. And are you still on the east side?
Yes, I am still in the East Coast right now.
Now, you've been making a lot of trips to LA. You've been playing a lot of go-go whiskey.
Yeah.
When are you moving to Los Angeles, girl?
I know it's honestly just a matter of time. I love the West Coast. I love Los Angeles. Literally, I was there last month and it was snowing. Like we left Boston and then you just see all the snow. And then 6 hours later, it's all sunshine. Sunshine. Yeah, so no snow. But no, it's I love LA. So hopefully maybe this year will be the year that I make the big move out there. So we'll see.
Very nice. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us tonight. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for the one and only Giuliana of Band Inc., make sure to drop them there in the comment section. I'll get to them as soon as possible. Let me check out this comment section real quick. We got Leaf Arrow all the way from Oregon. We got Crispy in the house. What's up, Crispy? He says, yo, Giuliana.
Crispy, what's up? I know you just called me like 2 minutes ago, but you know why.
Crispy. I love anybody named Crispy. All right, we got ASAP in the house. What's up? We got Andy Williams all the way from Canada. Heck yeah, we got John Hines all the way from Hollywood. Right here for the big old nasty get down. All right, let's see. First question from Andy Williams. How did Band Inc. form?
All right, I love telling this story because it's a lot of fun. When I was 16, I'm 21 years old now, but I've had this band since I was 16. So I think it was my sophomore year in high school. One of my good friends, she was a senior at the school I went to, and she was gonna graduate, and her parents wanted to like throw her a party, and she was like, I don't want DJ, like I'll get like a band or something. So she was like, you want to start a band, right? So this is like your chance. You can like go and find people to like throw a bit, because I've always been was saying like I want to start a band, but I could just never got around to doing it, I guess. So I was like, all right, this is a challenge, but I can do it. So I went out, I got some of my close friends. We learned, I specifically remember it was a 12 song list. And I'll never forget, I was like, why don't we do, mind you, I went to Catholic school. So I said, why don't we do like Highway to Hell? And she was like, no, none of that. No, we gotta do strictly like class, none of that. I was like, okay, cool. But we learned at that point it was 11 songs, because that one was booted out. We learned about 11 songs, and then we got together, we practiced, and we did this show. It was super fun. And after that, I kind of thought that was it. I was like, all right, I got to do something that I really liked. And people recorded us at the party, so it kind of like spread through Facebook a little bit, and local venues started to like call me. They were like, oh, it's like a young band, we'll start booking you guys and everything. So I'll never forget, I was on the phone with the venue, and they're like, all right, cool, we got your date settled. What's the name of the band? And I was like, oh my God, we did not think this through, you guys. We don't have the name. So I said like the first thing that came to mind was like Band Inc. So it kind of stuck, and that is how Band Inc. came to be.
Very nice. We are huge fans of Band Inc. here on the Sunshine Show. Now, I know you have rotating members. Are you still rotating members or you just have a solid lineup now?
Right now it's pretty solid. Crispy's in the chat. That's my guitar player. He's a rad dude. We got Crispy on guitar, me on bass and vocals. We have a friend in drummer right now, but it's tough because he can't travel as much. So we have someone on the West Coast who can play drums for us sometimes on the East Coast. But I think I'm happy to say we got the solid lineup. We did it.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. We got Victor all the way from Lubbock, Texas in the house. What's up, Victor Alvarado? Thanks for hanging out. We got a mama in the house. Love you, Juju.
Oh, love you, mama.
All right. I want to know, being such a young female bassist, amazing musician, what are some of the, issues that you've had come along the way when you're trying to tour, book shows? Are there any issues? Maybe there's not.
Um, I've been very fortunate. There haven't been much, but I do have a lot of, friends in the rock community who are also girls. And something that we always talk about is how, like, especially in the rock industry, it's like male dominated kind of genre, unfortunately. Like, when you think of a band, you're probably going to think like, oh, it's a rock band. It's Guns N' Roses, Metallica. It's all guys. But, I'm glad to say that a lot of it is changing though. Like you have bands like Hailstorm, The Pretty Reckless, Dorothy. I'm a big fan of Dorothy. She's really cool. But I've been very fortunate. I haven't run into any issues. But sometimes they're like, "Oh, are you so and so's girlfriend?" No, I'm the bassist. I play bass. I'm no one's girlfriend. I'm here to play. So been good this far.
Minimal issues. That's what I like to hear. Minimal issues. And it's all, how you handled it too. So sometimes people make bigger issues out of things that don't need any attention whatsoever. I want to give a huge shout out to Omar Jimenez, all the way from Mexico in the chat. What's up, Omar? Thanks for hanging out with us. We got Jordan Branch all the way from Redding, California. She says, Dorothy is amazing, Giuliana.
Oh, she's great. I'm a big fan of hers. I started listening to her like 2017, and like she was all hippie like and everything, but now she's like got that 80s rocker kind of looks. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Crispy says the second she starts singing, the haters go silent.
Oh, thank you, Crispy. Crispy's like my best friend. We work really well in the band together, and he's a very talented guitar player. So I'm very fortunate to be able to share the stage with him. Really.
Very nice. So let's talk a little bit about your rig, your setup, what kind of bass you're using on stage, what kind of amp, all the good stuff.
Absolutely. So I use a Fender Precision bass. It no longer looks like a Fender Precision. I've kind of modded it a little bit. It's like my version of like a Frankenstrat, except it's like a rock goth P bass. It's white, cream white, and it's got my name all pinstriped on it. And I have an Alpiers pickguard that I learned from you. So I have one made by Alper. And my go-to bass. I just love the sound of it. Got custom knobs and everything. Just super wanted to make it stand out a little bit. As far as my amp, I switch in between Ampeg and Mark bass. So like for big shows, I bring my Ampeg SVT, and for smaller shows, I take my Mark bass, which is very powerful. It's very small but very loud.
Very small but very powerful. That's
very,
right.
I know, very loud. And for I don't know if a lot of bass players use pedals, but I do. Hi CJ, I see him in the chat over there. But I use a Aguilar distortion pedal, which is something that I like to take to all of my shows, just to add a little excitement to the bass sound. But that is my rig so far.
Nice and simple. All right. And now, why the bass, Giuliana?
It's my favorite story to tell, But when I was in, I think it was freshman year in high school already, I had an old bass that I used to take to jazz band. I was like the only girl in jazz band, but that was super rock and roll, I was like the only one. And I'll never forget, we used to have a closet that they'd be like, all right, you can totally leave your instruments in here. It's totally safe. Like totally, like no one's going to get in there. And it was prom weekend, and I guess they had like the big prom blowout, and my bass got stolen. So I was just, oh my god, my heart was so shattered. I never like lost something that I cared so much about, because it was like the beginning for me. I was like, I'm just starting out on this thing that I'm so passionate about. And my mom has always been very supportive of music, me doing music and everything. But when she saw how heartbroken I was, I remember she was like, "Come on, let's go. We'll go for a ride." And she took me to the music store. She's like, you can like pick whichever one you want on the wall." And I was so happy. Like that was the happiest moment in my life when like I got that. And she makes fun of me for it. She's like, "There's so many other bases." I'm like, "But that's the one you gave me. Like I love that bass, you know." I don't
Aw.
I don't think it'll be tough one day, because unfortunately instruments, they get wear and tear. I'm starting to notice it with this bass, unfortunately, but it's gonna be tough to like let it go and bring another one on the road. But for fun, I'll just bring it anyways. Hopefully it won't get stolen. But.
Well, these two Rickenbackers I have here on the wall, one's a 1974, one's a 1975. They got lots of wear and tear, baby, but that just makes it sound so much better.
It does. And it's like I see like bandmates of mine, they're always like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna retire this one and everything." I'm like, "But it's got history. Like, it's got that scratch that you got in this show, remember? Like you remember those things."
All right. So we actually did an interview together with Junior Groovador.
So awesome. He's one of the coolest guys I've ever met. Oh my god.
It was so much fun. You and Mom did the translating, because obviously that's out of my scope, and I appreciate that so much. We had so much fun, and I hope that we'll do it again soon and get Groovador back on the show. What did you learn from doing that interview with him?
Oh my god, I learned so much. His whole life story was so fascinating to me. And honestly, it broke my heart, because I remember we were talking with him about like how he just wanted to be himself, and his story was just so inspiring to me. Like it taught me, just do you, like, be you. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. So I do think about that a lot. It's just like, it doesn't matter what people tell you to change or to do whatever. It's that they probably wish they could do what you do, just kind of groove and play your bass lines or whatever. But I learned a lot from that. And again, he's just one of the sweetest people I think I've ever met.
Absolutely love Junior Groovador. Okay, let's see. We got a question here from Jordan Branch. She wants to know, do you do any vocal warm-ups? If so, which do you think are most helpful?
This is kind of hard for people to believe, but like I'm a quiet person. So when I'm not doing shows, I don't talk at all. I talk to my family, of course. I'm not like I do minimal like practice. No, not. I'm sorry. I do like minimal like talking. Sorry, I'm very bad with. See, I don't talk much, so I have a tough time.
That was a Freudian slip, is what we call that, Giuliana. Okay.
Very cool. But like, honestly, I learned a lot from like No Pizza. I was like, wait, that is true. You don't eat dairy before you sing, because that is. Oh my god, it feels so horrible. Like I feel like my esophagus is on fire. It's so bad. But I learned a lot from Berkeley. So my first semester at Berkeley was kind of a I'm gonna call it like a culture shock, because I love rock music. Like that is the thing that I love the most. But when you go in, like I walked in like full leather and studs, and everyone was like, "That's not what our vibe." So I'll never forget, like, one of my professors gave me like an opera piece that I had to learn. I was like, this is not my jam. Like, this is weird, but I have to do it, so I'm going to do it. But I definitely learned a lot of vocal warm-ups, just like scales. That's something that I do a lot, scales, because it just kind of loosens everything up and gets you ready to. It's like stretching. Like before you run, you got to like stretch. So I can do like the easy ones. But for the most part, I think it's just I'm really quiet, and I just kind of wait for the show to get super excited. I just hold in all my energy for like a week, and then I'm like, yes, let's go, everybody, I'm ready.
All right, well, we had Crispy putting you on the spot here. He says no dairy before shows, yet we literally split a pizza before every show. All right, Crispy.
I was gonna throw myself under the bridge. And you're forgetting, Crispy, the Parmesan bread bites, my God. I got no, and there was another one. There was cheesy bread that so I was screwed at the last show, man. We're talking about that. That was horrible. Oh my God.
Oh, Giuliana, you are such a treat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Now,
Thank
you
you.
have such a powerful and amazing voice. You're so powerful on your instrument. When did you find out at what age that this was going to be what you were going to pursue in life?
As first of all, thank you so much, Sunshine. Bass was my first before I started singing. My first instrument was piano, and I did that for a lot of years, and it was super fun. But it got to the point where I would question myself, like, is this really what I want to do? And of course, I talk about him a lot, thanks to my grandfather. He like introduced me to this whole world of rock music and just big inspiration for me. And like my favorite part of any show is just to really see him and just like his opinion to me like matters the most. So I'm like, how is it? And if he goes like, that was great, it was great, it was awesome, it's just a very simple nod. At what age? I would have to say like singing was I started singing like sophomore year, which is when I started the band because I couldn't find anyone to sing. But I always knew that I wanted to like be on stage. Like that was something that I always wanted to do. I remember in school, like I went to Catholic school, and everyone would always be like, "Oh, I'm gonna, be a doctor. I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna do all this," and I would always be like, "I want to rock out, man. Like I want to play my songs in front of people. Like I want to have a good time." And so you always kind of feel like the odd one out, but I knew no matter what, I wanted to be on stage, even if it was just as a bass player, because I felt like that was where I was most comfortable. So I always wanted to do that.
Beautiful. All right, let's see. Scott says, what about the Rickenbacker? Do you play Rickenbacker just for fun sometimes?
I do. I have it's over there on the other side of the room. I have my red Rickenbacker. I love it. I love the sound of it. They're heavy though, and one time I hurt myself. So but I hurt myself really bad because I don't have a strong back. So I was like, you know what, this is gonna stay in the house, it's really nice. I love it though. I wish, because one of my biggest heroes is Lemmy. I even named my Pomeranian after Lemmy. So I had a Lemmy moment. I thought, yeah, I can definitely carry this. And I'll never forget, I was in New York. I had to like lay down in an odd position because I like threw out my back. But yes, I do have one, and it's probably that's my second favorite bass next to the Fender P bass.
Now, how would you compare the sound of the Rickenbacker to the sound of your P bass? They're two totally different sounds. A
Mhm.
lot of people feel like a Rickenbacker is an acquired taste.
It is. It is. I totally can see why. Like for me, the P bass, I love a nice like low end bass tone. Like I like to feel it. Some people like, the brighter tones, which is what a Rickenbacker has. It's like a brighter kind of sound, which I love. But personally, I just like that low bass end that you can like kind of feel when you play, and then add just a little bit of treble, just a little bit, not too much. All bass for me.
All bass, baby. All right, Joseph Kane in the house. Hello. I just got the invite. I want to know what your thoughts are of Geddy Lee from the band Rush.
Oh, I met him once. I met him at his book signing, and it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments I ever had because I went up to him and I was like, I really got to think of something that he's never heard before. So I went up to him and I was like, "Hi, I play bass and I sing too." And he looked at me. He's like, "I've never heard that in my entire life." I was like, I really screwed this up, didn't I? Couldn't think of anything better to say, really, but I have it was really cool. One of my favorite musicians, so super talented. One of my favorite bands. I'm really heartbroken I could never see Rush because that was one of the bands I always wanted to see, but one of the greatest bands in history. But yeah, that was definitely a moment I'll never forget.
We recently had Patty Patty Prashala. I believe that's how you say her last name. And she is the new lead singer for Why Not, which is the Rush, not a cover band, but almost like a tribute band, but they've kind of like grown from that. But that's where they originated from. And man, if you guys have not heard of Why Not, you've got to check them out because whoa, they are amazing. And Patty just has this voice, and she like channels Geddy Lee from the stage. It's pretty cool, man.
Oh, I'm gonna check him out now. I love that.
We got Mama Cantu in the building, all the way from Kingsville, Texas. What's up, Mama? How you doing tonight? Let's see. We got Victor in the house. Hola, desde Chile.
Hola.
Hola, Victor. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me and Giuliana. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, make sure to drop them there in the comment section. We got Mike Torn of Bass Players United in the chat, all the way from Canada. What's up, Mike Torn? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. All right. So, Giuliana, you mentioned that your family is a huge inspiration to you, but you've never really mentioned to us who are some of the musicians and artists or bands that are like huge inspirations for you.
Absolutely. It's always so hard to like pick the number one, but it's funny because like rock for me that's like the best. So like Zeppelin, that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to sing was because I never heard anything like, so I'll always say like so angry, and I fell right in love with it. It's like a man screaming at you. I'm like, this is great. I love this. This is such a so that's why.
What is going on here tonight, Giuliana? You are on a roll, baby.
I'm on a roll. I'm just so excited to be here. It's funny because usually when you ask me, like, I have a wall of posters, so I kind of look at it. I'm like, yeah, I love all these guys, but which one I like the top 5? I have like a huge Lemmy poster, and I already said that. But Dio, I love Dio, one of my favorite. But oddly enough, I am a huge Lady Gaga fan. And I know, like it seems like forbidden to like listen to pop music, but I love her so much. I saw her when I was I think I was 9. I saw her, and I think that was the moment that I thought I want to be on stage like that because she's just so different. And I've always had much respect for her songwriting and just for like the shock factor that she had, like she'd just show up and people were like, who is this? And no one ever forgot her after that, so she's definitely a big inspiration. Freddie Mercury, that's another big inspiration because I'm probably would put Queen on top of Zeppelin. It's hard for people to sometimes believe that I like Queen more than Zeppelin, but I do.
All right, so if you had to pick one, are we picking between A Star Is Born or what is the Freddie Mercury like biopic that came out a couple of years ago?
My God. I will go with Bohemian Rhapsody because I've seen that 7 times. So yeah,
Very
that was
nice.
my favorite. And that they did such a fantastic job with that. To me, out of all the biographies I've seen, that still is my favorite. Not just because I'm a Queen fan, but just because of how well it was made. Like, really good. But I still like A Star Is Born too. I watch it too.
That's my go-to when Sunny C is depressed. Star Is Born on repeat. So when that's playing in the house, stay away, okay, everybody.
Is there a specific one or just the Lady Gaga one? Because there's like 5 A Star Is Born.
Wait, really? I've only seen the Lady Gaga one.
There's one with Barbara Streisand, and that was like in the 70s, I believe. And there's a few more. I can't remember. I just know specifically that there was a few of them, and that Barbara Streisand was in one of them. But I don't remember the other one.
All right. Well, we'll have to have a viewing party at some point. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Next question comes from Scott Rule. Thank you so much, Scott, for hanging out with us tonight. He wants to know how much of your sound is from your bass versus amp setup or pedals.
So my amp, I leave always the same. I just rarely touch it, just a lot of bass and a little bit of treble. But I would have to say a lot of my sound comes from both my bass and from my pedals. So again, the treble is kind of, how do I say, like a quarter of the way, and then bass is all the way up. So it's all the way. And then my pedals, I just kind of set in case they move, because sometimes traveling they move, but I just kind of keep it simple. Like distortion, I like to add a lot of like noise to it just to make it sound fuzzy, but yeah, I'd have to say it's a combination of my bass and my pedals.
Okay. And how long did it take you to develop your own sound and get the tone that you knew that was like uniquely Juliana for Band Inc?
Yeah, it took a while, like everything, it's like learning how to write stuff. It takes a while to find your sound. Specifically for my bass, it took me like listening to some of my favorite records, just trying to figure like John Paul Jones, one of my favorite bass players of all time. I always loved his tone, so I would always try to like, see YouTube videos on how to do that and all that. Like just really listening to a lot of my favorite records, especially like older records, because I love that old like what's the word, like classic sound, like classic rock kind of sound for the bass, because it just is all bass really. Like now it's now everything's more like cleaner with the bass and everything, but for me a classic sound goes all the way. So it took maybe yeah, as long as I've been playing, sometimes I'm still looking for a new sound, so I guess it never ends.
All right. Pick versus no pick.
I was anti-pick for a long time. That was until I had a boo-boo and I hurt one of my fingernails. So I had to, and I was like, this not so bad. So on a good day, like I'm okay with either one. I'm okay with either one. So
Okay.
I'm gonna be neutral.
Was it hard to transition from
Yeah, very.
finger picking to like an actual pick?
It was difficult because I like for years I would try to play guitar, and that was the one thing that bothered me the most was like playing with the pick, because I didn't like it, but it it was faster to get adjusted to it than what I thought it would be. Like I was surprised at how fast I like got used to it. It wasn't that hard anymore.
Okay. Let's see. Her sound is in her hands. Crispy, we are loving you tonight, Crispy. Thank you for all the amazing commentary. We do appreciate it.
Like
Uh,
it's Crispy knows my bass playing more than I know my own bass, because he brings up things that I don't even know, because I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. So if he says, I trust him. So thank you, Crispy. Thank you.
Crispy, we're going to get you on the show next, okay? All right, Juliana, wireless or are you plugging into a cord, baby?
I choose wireless, but sometimes it's just easier to plug into a cord, because I'm always the one that's always running a little late. I always show up just a little late. So I'm at the point I'm like, all right, I'll just plug it in and it's the fastest way. But if I'm prepared and I can be there, wireless, because I like to walk around, and like sometimes I go off the stage, like when we do bike week, we get like the suits and I just kind of walk around and I have like my hats and everything. But like, yeah, no, I wireless for me.
All right, very nice. All right, we got BJ Bivens. I think I said your name right. Bivens, one or the other. Beautiful BJ, thank you for hanging out. He says, your body resonates like wood through your bones. That's where you get a lot of your tone. Eddie Van Halen said the best. It's all in your hands.
Oh, very cool. That's
Beautiful.
super cool. I love that.
All right, let's see. John, we miss you in, how do you say that?
Poughkeepsie, hello, John. We love Poughkeepsie. We play a lot at the Chance Theater, and they're just so kind to us there. We have to make a visit sometime soon, so hopefully we'll get something. We're working on a lot of shows coming up, so maybe we might get something in Poughkeepsie. But much love to Poughkeepsie, because they're very kind to us there.
All right. So when you start traveling and going on tour, who's going to be the bus driver? Is it going to be mom? I mean, who's taking over the role?
I'm gonna have to give that responsibility to my grandfather, because I it's funny because everyone always pokes fun at me. I don't like to drive. I'm just one of those people. Like highways just not for me. Not I don't think it's for a lot of people, but especially not for me. But speaking of Crispy, I have had talks with him. I'm like, he'll be like, what's gonna happen when we're on the road? I'm like, I'm not driving. You're driving, my friend. Because if we're on the road, you're behind the wheel. Because I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm too scared. It's too many equipment to be responsible for. You guys, I'll give directions. That's the most I'll do.
All right. You guys all heard it here first. All right. Okay. We got Ko Gonzalez all the way from Mexico in the building. Another amazing bassist. I had the pleasure of interviewing Ko Oh man, I guess last month or the month before. If you guys have not checked out that interview, it's available on my podcast at anchor.fm/the Sunshine Show and anywhere you guys stream your podcasts. All right, let's see. Next question from David D. Did you ever start a song with a pick and then end up with your fingers?
Yeah, I just did this weekend. I think you can kind of see it, but I have like these two blisters on my finger, and they kind of exploded on me at the show. So I was like, oh, that's uncomfortable. So I had to kind of pick my way through the rest of the song. So yes, that does happen. Sometimes you get a small injury and you got to kind of just kind of substitute for a little bit. But yes, that has happened before. But
So,
we find solutions for it.
Juliana, where do you stash your picks?
Oh, my pocket, which is not a good place because when you're playing, you know the Sunshine with like girl jackets, we don't have pockets. So like even with this jacket that I have, like the pockets are so small and I forget that. So I'm like, oh, if I'll have them on my person, I'll just grab it. Then I forget that this pocket is so small. I gotta be like, oh my god, I'm like playing a song right now. I can't even reach like the picks that I have. So if I can't reach it in time, I'll use like the tips of my fingers, kind of pretend like I have one, and it works. But most of the time in my pocket. But I think I'm gonna change that. I think I'm gonna put them on top of my amp.
All right, very nice. Round wound versus flat wound. Which do you prefer?
Round. I can never say it right. Round wound. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a tongue twister. I prefer a round wound, but sometimes a flat wound. Like I remember for a jazz band, I used to prefer it just because the sound was nicer for the type of music we were playing. But most of the time, round. What was it? Round wound. That's what it is. I can't say. I'm
Round,
just.
round wound. Let's say it 3 times fast. Round wound, round wound, round wound, round wound, round wound, round wound, round wound.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But that one, that's the one I prefer.
What's up, Wiz Fire in the house? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Very cool, Juliana. So you're so young and you have so much amazing things you've already done. I want to talk a little bit about the award that you recently won last year. I know a lot of people may not know about this. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. So last year I got nominated for the International Portuguese Music Award. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Portuguese American. My family's from Portugal. And I'm first generation, so I was born in the U.S. I'm the only one. And last year I got nominated, and it was just an honor to even be, a part of that category. So we had to perform an original that we wrote, and the whole band was fantastic. We got to work with the house band, and I think that was probably one of the biggest crowds I played in front of, and it was in Rhode Island, which is a state over. But it's like 2,500 people. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy. And I know for like a lot of people in the music, they're like, oh, but to me that was like, oh my god, that was so amazing. And I'll never forget, like, I was actually really nervous because I don't usually get nervous for shows, but especially with all those people. But I knew where my mom was sitting, so I just kept watching her. And I'd be like, just kind of watch her in the crowd. And then it came out that I won, and I was so happy. It was a nice moment I got to share with my mom. She was like super happy. Like someone took a picture of us. I'm really tall, so like my mom gave me a hug, and she's like, here. I'm like, just giving her a hug. But it was a really special moment because uh, especially being like Portuguese, it's like, oh my god, like I'm so proud to be like of Portuguese descent and to be featured in it's such an honor, really. So that will be a really special thing in my life. And I have the award. It's near my television, so I see it, and I'm very happy about that one.
Very, very nice. That must be so exciting. I remember when you were nominated for it, and I was just so excited when I found out that you won because you absolutely deserve it. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're just such an inspiration to so many young and older musicians. You are such an inspiration. Your journey is amazing, and we love you, Juliana.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Sunshine. I wanted to add to that. You're an inspiration, Sunshine. I'm not even kidding. I remember when I first like saw you, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. So then I'll never forget getting invited on your show. I was like freaking out. I'm like, dude, I look up to her. She's so amazing, really. So,
Oh,
thank you. But that means a lot, really. Thank you. It's like I say, it's like we've so much work put into it, and then to see everything come all at once, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm really thankful to be doing what I love to do.
absolutely. So what's next? I mean, you guys have been, hanging out in LA a lot, playing a lot of shows. Are you guys planning on touring soon? You're gonna get in the studio first? What's the plan?
Absolutely. So we got a lot going on. Super excited to announce like we've been writing a lot of music. I think the goal is, to get more music out there. Maybe an album, maybe. So that'll be in the works soon. A lot of shows. We might be. We got offered some stuff in Nashville, so maybe we'll be in Nashville. We so that'll be fun. We got a lot of offers down there too. Just a lot of shows going to be announced soon, so I'm super excited about that. And yeah, what I'm mostly excited for is the music, because we have been working really hard on a new sound and something that I think a lot of people will like. So that's what I'm super excited to bring out into the world and give people new Bandink music, because we really love the response that everyone has been giving us with the 3 singles that we have out now. And it's just, we're so thankful for everyone who listens.
Where can we find your music?
Oh, awesome. So you can find them anywhere. You can find on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever streaming platform that you prefer to use, we're on there. So what you're going to do is you're going to look up Band Inc. That's BAND, and then there's a comma, INC, like incorporated. So if you type that up, it should probably be the first thing that shows up. So yeah.
I was going to say, Donovan, down in the basement, this is your chance to put that link, and he did it before I even had to ask. So thank you, Don, for doing your job and being such a beautiful secretary. I really could not do it without Donovan in the basement. I also could not do it without all the listeners at home, all the viewers here on Facebook. I could not do it without Bass Players United, Sunshine and the Bass Kids, everybody, you guys. I cannot say thank you enough. So did I say thank you enough, Giuliana, or should I say it one more time?
Thank you, Sunshine, for all that. And thank you to Don, because Don is a sweetheart. I want to make sure to give him some love too, because he's awesome.
All right, we got a couple of comments here. Bobby, what's up, Bobby? How you doing? He says, I say they need to jam bass together. Lead bass could swap back and forth. And then Crispin out of Mexico says, and Junior Groupador too, because he could dance and he has all the moves. I mean, what? Should we just do a threesome on the bass? What?
We're all just gonna do a dance. All of us are just gonna, he has to teach us though, because even though I'm a bass player, I have no rhythm to dance. So he has to teach me like those moves, because he's so amazing. I get so mesmerized, like watching him play. I'm like, this man is like the most amazing person I've ever seen in my life.
We need like a Groovidor like dance series, like a how to, like what was it, groove into the oldies or sweat into the oldies, like back in the day before you were born, Giuliana. There was a Richard Simmons. Have you heard about this guy?
I have heard of Richard Simmons. Yeah, he does like the. Correct me if I'm wrong. He does like the dances, right? I think that's what.
Yeah. Sweat into the oldies. Sweat into the oldies.
Okay. I have heard of this. Yes.
So we need like a Groovidor dance series where we can all sweat to, with our basses, the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and manifest this out here. Next time we have Groovidor on the show, we'll pitch it to him. Okay.
Yes. And we could do like a weekly thing, like we all live stream it and he just teaches us how to do it. It would be great. It would be so amazing. It would be, I would be a part. I would love to be a part of this.
Dawn, that's your cue to tag Junior Groupador, please, in the comment section. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're having such an amazing time. We're going to start wrapping this up in about 20 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, make sure to drop them there in the comment section. Let's see, Krager's, is that a bass thing or what? Because I can't dance worth a darn either. Oh, Krager's.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, I can't dance for my life. I really can. And it's really bad because people think that I'm joking. I'm not. I really like the way I dance. They're like, "Oh, come on, no dance for." I'm like, "That is my dance. Like that's how I dance." Like that. Then I'm like, "Now I'm really not gonna dance because that's not funny." Like,
Oh my gosh. Let's see. When I first started getting on stage, you know what got me to learn how to dance with my bass? I watched a lot of belly dancing videos.
really? Oh, that's so cool.
And watch a couple of belly dancing videos on YouTube. And when you get the bass and the belly dance, it kind of all goes together, you
This
know?
kind of goes together. And it's
Yes.
funny because people tell me they're like, bass is my number one, but sometimes people are like, oh, you should just do front, front woman it, like, just go back. I'm like, that bass, not only do I love that, but that's like my safe zone. You don't want to see me without that because you will not want to see me like without that because it's just really sad. Like it's just kind of I can't even like I tried to do like a tambourine thing. I ended up bruising my hand because I didn't
Stop
know.
it. Stop
I
it.
mean, it's really tough. It's really, and then it's just, yeah. I'm that kind of. I really. It's just safe if I'm behind the base and behind the mic stand. Like it's
I'm gonna
just
fly
safe.
you down to Santa Cruz and give you some lessons. Okay, Juliana, I got you, girl.
It's just thank you, so I appreciate.
Let's see. Crispy says you ain't lying. She's bad.
That's because you're the one that tells me that I dance bad, Crispy. I wasn't
Let's see. Bobby says sweating with the bass plugged in could be electrifying. That is very true. I think we
that is.
all give us a little bit more of a shock. Really get us going there. Let's see. Craigers, I can make some pretty cool rock stances, but there's no wiggle or jiggle. Oh, okay.
It's true. Like with rock, like there's some solid stance, but like it gets kind of weird after a while when that's like the only thing that you do is just like kind of stand there. But yeah.
Now, being on stage, has that ever, because you said, when you've seen certain people on stage, that's what like made you want to be on stage. When you first got on stage, did you ever have stage fright? Was that ever something you had to battle?
Oh yeah, I was terrified. I was really scared because like when I first started playing, like I mentioned, it was really tough to like find a band. So I would do like these after school programs where they would like get kids together and like form super groups kind of. So I specifically remember like they would do like this showcase at the end of each cycle, I guess is how it works. And we would play in front of like with all the family, but this was like a huge venue. It was like a small theater, but it was still like to me that was big at the time. And I remember just being on stage and thinking I don't want to move. I'm so scared. I was just like in the corner. But it came to my like realization. I'm like, okay, if you want to be on stage, like if you want to do this, you have to put yourself in front of all these people. So I would like force myself to be in front of all these people. Sometimes I'd look down, like there are videos of me, I'm just looking down. But it's funny, I guess the more I got to like learn about myself and figure out who I wanted to be, it got easier because in the back of my mind, I always thought like, this is what you always wanted to do. Like you've always wanted to be in front of people. You always wanted to share your music. So just go for it. Go have fun. So there's like that part of me that's like, just have fun with it. And then there's the other part of me that's like, I still get kind of stage fright, but it's okay. We're past that now.
Well, so what's going on in your head once you get on stage? I mean, are you thinking about anything or is it all just like rock and roll, no thoughts? It's just all brain and muscle memory.
It's no thoughts. A lot of muscle memory though. Like one thing that I think about like is kind of weird. Like if I'm plugged in like with the cable, I'm like, okay, don't trip over the cable, don't trip over the cable because like it's cool, like you can move around, but just remember there's a cable there. If I'm wireless, I'm like, all right, let's move here, move this side. It's a lot of muscle memory. Like my hands, I'm used to the way my hands move. Sometimes I'll be thinking like, oh, what's the next song? Got it. Just like kind of basic things, and then I'm really bad at this. I have to remember to like talk to the crowd. I'm like, okay, remember what you're gonna say. Hey everybody, how you doing? And then it just comes out all wrong. I'm like, okay, that was great. I totally butchered that. But yeah, it's just kind of chaos while I'm playing, and then afterwards you're like, got done with that.
Let's see. We got Salvador Nastasia, world-renowned artist in the building. What's up, Sal? He says Jim Morrison was so scared on stage he wouldn't face the crowd in the beginning.
That's true. Same thing with Lemmy from Motorhead. His microphone was like that, so he'd look up and not at the people, which was actually a really smart idea. I never thought of that.
And Bobby says mic stands. Watch out for the mic stands.
Oh, that happened to me this past weekend. We played at one of my venues in my town, which I've been playing at for years, Knuckleheads, and it was sold out like shoulder to shoulder. There was like a wait to get in. Oh, there it is, Knuckleheads. They just commented. But we just played there, and there was like a crowd of people. And the guy walked up to my mic and it like punched me in the face. So I was like, oh my God. It was so crazy. But yeah, no, be careful with the mic stands because they will get you. They will.
And if you take one piece of advice from this whole hour-long interview, it is be careful for the mic stands because they will get you. They will.
Beware.
No truer words have been spoken, you guys. I'm having such a great time tonight with all of you. Thank you all so much. Giuliana, any advice for new aspiring musicians, no matter what age, who are getting started and maybe a little frustrated that they're not maybe getting it as fast as they'd like to?
Absolutely. So I know it's a cliche. Everyone always says it, but be true to who you are and like always be you. You know, there's gonna be some people who are gonna say, "Oh, this is too much. You're doing too much." It doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, "Am I happy with what I'm doing? How I present myself?" And if the answers are yes, then keep doing it. You know. And it's like don't get frustrated if it takes a while. It's like. Now, unfortunately, I literally talk about this all the time. Now, unfortunately, we live in a world where like we're surrounded by social media, and it's like you can't help but like look on it and be like, oh my God, like everything's just kind of seems slowed down. It doesn't. We all have our mark in life where it's like, yeah, like we'll get there. You know, it just takes time and a lot of Thank you. I think I just forgot something upstairs. My mom just gave me.
Is Mama in the house? Hi, Mama.
I forgot my charger, so she brought it down.
Hi,
Mama.
Wow, so good to see you.
You look beautiful as always.
So you. Thank you so much for having Juju again. We're all watching to see us.
Always, anytime. We can't wait to have you back on the show too.
Anytime you need my help, you know I'm on.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
I forgot something upstairs, and she's so. I think she was nervous. She's like, I just gotta run down there.
I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, we got David. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's my best friend.
Oh, my mom is my best friend too. All right, we got David O'Neill in the house. He said, I started out as a classically trained guitarist, but my first conundrum was Rush. I'd want to play both. Years later, I can do both. Thanks to playing bass more and more and more and more, I will continue on all. Beautiful advice, David. So, Giuliana, let's talk about the importance of learning multiple instruments. Or is it important? I don't know.
It to me it was super cool. Like I said, my first instrument was piano, and to me it was super cool because the piano you can see all the notes on it, and that gave me a really great understanding of music theory. So it's really cool. You know, like I would definitely say if you want, you could definitely learn a bunch of instruments because then you get really well-rounded. Going back to that wounded thing, I get really confused.
round.
You get really, well-rounded by all of these instruments because you can learn so much from any instrument, really. For me, it was piano, and when I learned all the stuff I did on piano, it was super easy to be able to shift to guitar and then to bass and to vocals eventually because I just, you have a better understanding of the instrument. So yeah, I hope that helps.
Absolutely. We got Marty all the way from Minnesota. Hi, Marty. I love you so much. She says you two could pass for sisters. Well, look at that. So kind, Marty. So very kind.
Oh, my God. So nice. Sunshine, you're so beautiful. So that's very nice to hear. Thank you.
Well, and you are so gorgeous. Are we just like complimenting each other all night tonight? Yes, we are.
It's so not like I love I'm always so honored to be on your show. So thank you, Sunshine.
Absolutely, anytime. Let's see, Alex. Alex says, "Ew, music theory."
Alex Ponta, is that Alex Ponta? Oh my God, he made a cameo, and that's our drummer. So
Alex and Crispy in the house.
I know they're troublemakers, those guys, but we love him. We love him. That's the band family right there. But he's the one who's always talking about music theory, so I don't know why.
Let's see, Joyce says, "You were awesome at the Rose Alley a few weeks ago."
Well, thank you so much. Oh, if I could real quick, I just want to give like a quick shout out to especially those venues like Knuckleheads, especially Sal there, and like Rose Alley. Like we don't play as much like local shows anymore, so to be able to like come back from all those shows and to play at these I've been playing this since I was a kid, so every time we go, we get these amazing people. So quick shout out to them because I love all these venues, really just so amazing.
Let's see, Pablo says, "Women bassists make the best lovers." That's right, Pablo.
I'm not even kidding. Someone told me that this weekend at the show I played. I was like, all right, let's go. Let's play some bass, I guess.
Oh, yeah. All right, next question from Daniel Bainez, longtime listener and supporter of the Sunshine Show. He wants to know, Giuliana, do you ever get to travel to Portugal to visit family? And if you do, what's the music scene like?
Oh, I'm so happy to answer this because I don't actually get to talk about it a lot. So I have very few family left in Portugal. I used to go every year. I even used to go twice a year. But ever since I was 14, I haven't been able to go on as much because of all the shows that we get and all of the music and everything, which is tough because I still have family out there. I got my cousins and I got uncles and aunts and everything, but they're incredibly supportive of everything. I was just talking to one of my aunts today, so she saw a video of me sing. She's like, "It was so loud, oh my God!" It's all this rock music because there it's there's very few rock bands in Portugal. There's two really popular ones, and then the rest is all either pop or which is traditional music, which is fado, which is what they hear in Portugal. Very really beautiful music. If anyone wants to learn about different music, I suggest fado because it's beautiful and it's just personally I like it. I don't know if I could perform it though because I like rock music and it would be kind of out of place, but I love it still.
All right, very, very nice. You guys, we are almost about to wrap this up. So if you have any more questions, drop them there in the comments section. All right, let's see. Next question from Pablo. Do you know Ana Centina?
That name sounds very familiar. I don't know.
We're going to do a quick Google search and then
Yes,
we'll answer that, Pablo.
yes, because that name sounds very familiar and I know I've heard that before.
All right, next question from Scott. He goes, "Okay, drummer and bassist online. So how do you guys deal or figure out time changes, a la Rush stuff?" I don't know if do you guys play a lot of Rush or?
We've actually never played any Rush, but after today, I think we will. So next time I'm here, whoever asked that, ask it again next time. Then I'll have an answer. But time changes usually, when you rehearse and stuff. I'm like that. I'm very big into rehearsals and stuff. I'm like, oh, let's do it again. And then after 7 times, I'm like, let's do it again. Just keep doing it over and over and over again.
All right, now one thing we did not talk about during this interview is the songwriting process for Band Inc.
Yeah. Awesome.
What's the process? Is it a family group affair? Are you doing most of the work?
It's funny because it's evolved throughout the years. So before I had my steady lineup, I would just write it all by myself, and it was tough. It was really tough because I'm not a drummer. I'm a singer and a bass player, so it would be tough to kind of explain to someone that I was playing with, hey, play this, this is what I hear, and I'd make they'd play it, and if they play the right, I'm like that one, let me record it real quick so that way we'll remember next time. Right now, me and Crispy, we write a lot, and it's just so fun. It really is. And sometimes we call Alex too to get his, feedback on it and everything. But it's super fun. What we do is, for example, we have this song that we wrote, and we were just goofing off. We were I think Crispy was like, "Oh, I like it loud," and I was like, "Say that again." And so we wrote it down, and we wrote a song out of it. Just kind of sometimes it happens by mistake. Sometimes you sit down and you work like for like 6 hours, you get a song out of it, kind of think of a theme that you want to write. But yeah, it's gotten easier throughout the years, so I'm happy where we are right now with the process.
All right, very nice. Crispy wants to know, when is Alex coming back into town?
I hope he comes back really soon because we really miss him. He's away right now. So, but
Inquiring minds want to know.
I know, Alex, if you sing this, please come back because we really, please, like, we really need you, man. Like, please come back.
All right, let's see. Next question from Bobby. When the show needs a shift, will you change set list on the fly?
Yes, we've done that a lot of times actually, because I'm really last minute on decisions, which is so bad. I know you shouldn't be like that at all, but I don't know. Sometimes you get to the show and you get like a different vibe. You're like, man, I don't know how I feel about this, but like Chris like balance it out. He's like, I don't think we should do this. I'm like, let's do it. Sometimes, no, most of the times it works. He's like, all right, I guess that was a good decision we kind of made on the fly. But sometimes, yeah, like last minute decisions. Doesn't not anything too like crazy, but sometimes we'll like change the way a song goes or something like that.
All right, very nice. How often are you practicing your bass these days? Is this a daily thing, a weekly thing?
I'm gonna have to say weekly this time. Last time I think I said daily, but now that we've been writing so much, like I've been just writing a lot of lyrics, working on a lot of stuff, and then getting some bass riffs out. Yeah, I'm very close to my bass. I see it every day, so try to practice it as much as I can.
She's like, I sleep with my bass.
No one's taking this one. No one is.
We got Jesse Duran in the house all the way from Arizona. What's up, Jesse? Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. All right, guys, we're gonna start wrapping this up. Let's see. Dawn says, Sonny, Bobby's my old bass player / roomie you didn't want. That's hilarious, Donovan. You're lucky. I love you, and you're such a good secretary. Okay. All right, Giuliana. One of the last questions. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind with the music that you're presenting to the world?
Something that I always think is super important is I'd want people to get to know me through my music, through the music that my band and I write. Like a lot of the themes that I write are really based around my life, and instead of like journaling about it, I really like to put into music because I can only hope that if someone listens to it and if they're going through the same thing, they won't feel alone and they'll feel like they can relate to it. So that's what I hope to leave behind, and hope to be someone that people can turn to and listen to my music and my band's music also. So.
Beautiful. All right, next question. When you write, does the rhyme riff come first or the words?
It kind of changes. It's either one of those sometimes. Like last song we wrote, it was a riff. Like we had a riff that no one had done anything with, so we were like, all right, let's do this. Let's like put the words and the melody to it. Sometimes it's the word, like I mentioned earlier. We were down here, and Crispy said something like, oh, I like it loud, and I was like, see, that's a word, we can use that in a song. So we wrote that down. It really just depends on what happens and how we're feeling that day.
All right, Giuliana, you ready for the last question of the evening? Your most favorite question. I know it is.
I'm so ready.
If you could throw a dinner party for any 5 musicians, dead or alive, who would those 5 musicians be, and what would you serve at your dinner party?
As for food, if I'm not singing that night, it's gonna be a pizza. So we'll have a pizza, which will be great. Everyone likes pizza. It's simple. It's great. So for number 1, I'm gonna choose you, Sunshine, because you're so kind, and yeah, I would love to have a conversation in person with you. So you're the first guest. I'll have to choose. I think I said this in my last one, and I said his name so many times in this. Lemmy, because I love Lemmy. He's probably one of my all-time favorites of all time. Because we mentioned, I'm going off of people that we talked about today. For fun, let's change things up. Lady Gaga.
That's going to be a good party.
Very explosive, very explosive. And you know what? I'll choose my last 2 for my bandmates, Crispy and Alex. That way there's people that I also know there. It'll be great.
This sounds like a really fun party. And then pizza. It's a pizza party, Giuliana.
I know that everyone here likes pizza, so we'll just do a pizza. It's great. It'll be great. Everyone likes that because you can't go wrong with a pizza party. It'll be great.
Except if you're about to perform before the pizza party, because Giuliana said no dairy before you get on stage, singers. Okay, so
It's a big no-no. It's a big no-no. So we got to get all the music out of the way, and then we'll sit and get it.
Crispin says our +1 is Groovador. We forgot about Junior Groovador.
Yeah, the +1. Yes, Groovador. We'll just boot the last two, the bandmate. It's okay. They can sit at the little kids' table. It's like, and then we'll just put Groovador.
Oh, Giuliana, you are such a treat. Thank you again for coming back on the show. Third time is a charm. I can't wait to have you on a fourth time.
Thank you. Likewise, Sunshine. It's always such a pleasure to be on. Such a pleasure, to talk to you. And also for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I love talking with you guys and with you, Sunshine. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get going?
I just want to say, if you guys are interested in my music and stuff, you can definitely check me out on Instagram, Facebook. Band Inc has a Twitter now too, so that's new. We didn't have one before, but I actually have I brought this. It's like a business card, so if anyone's interested, that's how you spell my name. Actually, my name's right here too. I forgot about that. It's right there. But yeah, definitely. It's just at Giuliana Lucia Amaral, and then it's at Band Inc for band social media. Yeah.
Very nice. Now, can people hire you on consignment to do, projects for their albums?
Absolutely. If you need me, just send me a message, direct message. I am always on my phone, always checking my messages. So if anyone needs me, I'd be happy to help.
Very nice. You guys make sure to go follow Giuliana Lucia Amaral, the amazing bassist, singer, songwriter, frontwoman for Band Inc. Make sure to go follow them on all streaming platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's a free way you can support this amazing musician that is giving her all to provide you some amazing music. I will be back. Actually, I think I'm booked every single day this week, you guys. So come back and hang out. And you know how it goes. Make sure that you're kind to everybody around you. You never know the battles that people are facing. Try to keep a smile on your face and be safe out there. It's a dangerous, dangerous world. I want to give a shout out to Bass Players United. Thank you so much for your support. Sunshine and the Bass Kids and Rocksteady Collective. All right, Giuliana, on 3, we're going to say bye. You ready?
Oh, also, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Those of you watching, I forgot about that too, but thank you.
My favorite Valentine that comes up every year is the one of Lemmy with and he's behind a heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably share that one tomorrow, so you already know.
The best one. All right, girl, you ready to get out of here?
Ready to do that. All right.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Hasta la vista.